Hi everyone and Happy New Year. We know it's a little bit late because we're kind of in the middle of January now, but we still wanted to say Happy New Year. We are back with Anna Muse, our gorgeous Anna Muse, our fashion editor, for this month's Ask Anna. How have you been?
I'm good, yeah. Christmas seems a long time ago, but I think you're still allowed to say Happy New Year.
I think so.
It's the first time we've said hi. So Happy New Year, everyone.
Yes, Happy New Year. So we'll just get straight in there. We've had some amazing questions. Thank you so much, everyone, for sending such brilliant questions in. So the first one is, how do I make good style choices when I'm in a rush?
Yes, so I get asked this quite a lot actually, because the reality is obviously that we don't have a lot of time in the mornings. And I've read this question two ways. I'm going to answer it in two ways, because one is making the decision about what to wear when you're in a rush, and the second is feeling comfortable and confident on a day when you're rushing around.
Yes.
I wasn't quite sure and didn't have a chance to kind of clarify that. So in terms of making a good outfit choice when you're in a rush in the morning, I actually don't make my outfit choices in the morning, I make them the night before.
Excellent, that's a very good tip.
Which I have sort of mentioned in previous posts on my own channel, and it's something I always tell my clients to do, because I have two young children. We have to be out the door by a certain time, otherwise the wheels come off the whole day, you know? So, and they're not on any kind of schedule, so I have, you know.
We know how that feels.
My 4-year-old's like wanting to wear her Princess Elsa dress, and my son wants to wear his football kit or whatever, and I need as much time to get them ready and out of the door, and I need to just know what I'm doing. So the night before, generally what I do is, and even sometimes if you can do it for a couple of days, I don't like to plan too far ahead, because what I like to wear changes with my mood. But if I can plan a couple of days ahead, just look in my diary at what I'm doing and make sure, even if I don't physically get it out, but just earmark, I'm going to wear that dress, it's clean, it's ironed.
It's ironed and it's ready,
So you're not getting there in the morning and reaching for something that you think in your head you want to wear, but actually it's in the wash basket.
I suppose in a way, like, I mean, I prepare my son's school uniforms and I get them all set, you know, ready for the week. It's kind of doing the same thing for yourself as a bit of a uniform.
Yeah, exactly. And everything, sometimes if I know I've got to be out really early, I'll choose what accessories and I'll hang them over the hanger and have my shoes by the door. And it sounds really anal.
Really
I am a bit, but I find that sets me up for success. And actually that simple 10 minutes is all it takes the night before. That morning when you go and it's all ready, you feel like you're starting the day winning. So it's not just having an outfit that you know works, it's also starting the day on a really good note as well.
Yeah, so getting you in a really good, positive mindset and not being rushed off your feet from the minute you start the day.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so that's my top tip.
Brilliant, thank you. And then the next question we have is, I love this question. So I need something that's feminine but professional. What do you recommend?
Yes, so dressing in the workplace, I think, for women there's lots of dress for your day, and there's all these kind of guidelines that make it quite difficult. For guys, if it's smart, then it's really easy, and if it's cash, then it's also very easy. Don't shoot me for saying that, guys, but I think it is, really. There's more choice for women, which actually sometimes makes it harder. So in terms of professional but feminine, I would look at keeping the basics really simple and well cut and flattering for the figure. So not going for overtly feminine or necessarily floral and embellished things for a workplace, but I would accessorise and use colour to add that touch of femininity. So soft pinks with greys are really nice in the workplace, because the grey or maybe a navy would smarten it up. And then adding details such as, you know, necklaces, jewellery and things to a classic outfit. It elevates it, brings it together, makes it individual. It gives it that feminine touch without it feeling sort of girly, which is usually what we want to avoid.
And what about as well things like, you know, it's like a wrap dress or something, you know, that's a staple that you know you can wear with boots in the winter or with shoes in the summer or something like that. I mean, that's possibly an option, I would expect.
Absolutely, dresses are great, and I think, like I say, it's those classic pieces. So wrap dress, shift dresses, they're really versatile depending on your body shape. You know, one will suit you better than the other. Straighter body shapes tend to work better in the more fitted shift dresses. Wrap dress is actually universally flattering for all body shapes and are a really lovely option. So yeah, dresses and skirts are great, and then just use your details to sort of put your personal stamp on it as well.
Brilliant. Oh, this one is specifically for you.
Yes.
So how do you resist buying lots of clothes when you're in the shop with your clients?
yeah, when I first started, well, to be honest, who am I kidding? I love clothes. I love them. And yeah, I could shop for Britain. However, I give myself and I give my clients a few guidelines to work from. And actually, once you set those guidelines in place, it becomes quite easy to resist impulse purchases, which is ultimately, I think, what that's asking. So I have a few things that I'll ask myself. Is it a colour that suits me? Is it a style that flatters me? How do I feel in it? So I think very often we'll see something, we'll try it on, like, yeah, it'll do. And we don't think about the feeling it gives us. So if you imagine how you feel in an outfit that makes you like the best version of yourself, like a 10 out of 10, if it's any less than an 8, then I'm not buying it, because I don't want to feel any less than an 8 out of 10 on a day-to-day basis. Yeah. And the other thing, and this is the killer, can I think of 3 things that I can style it with that I already own? Because the last thing I want to do is buy something and then have to buy a load of other things in order to wear it. So going through that thought process, and really the real kicker is, do I feel fabulous in it? And is it really flattering, and am I going to spend my money on it? It stops me from buying everything I see, which is just really.
I always think as well, because I'm terrible. I'll go past a shop and I'm like, oh, I love that. I mean, for example, I saw a beautiful polka dot skirt in the window of a store the other day, and I was like, oh, I'm going to go buy that. I've got a polka dot skirt, I've got it on.
Yes.
And I'm thinking, I have to stop myself from buying so many of the same thing. You have to remember, what have I already got that's similar, I think.
Well, it's human nature. You'll see something and you'll get drawn to it because somewhere in there you'll know that you've worn something similar and you felt good in it. So having everything in your wardrobe so you can see it, having it really well organised, it helps to make sure that, oh, actually I've got 3 other blue jumpers, I don't really need another one, even though that one is gorgeous. I don't necessarily need it because I've got a very similar one. So it's having that understanding and knowledge of what you already have, which is why sort of a twice yearly wardrobe detox and organisation is a really good idea.
Which now brings me on to wardrobe detoxing.
Oh
because,
yes.
Yeah, you've been doing a lot of this. You know, we've seen it on your Instagram.
Yes.
I'm keen for this as well. You know, wear your wardrobe, everybody.
Yes.
Very much so. And what are your what are your tips for starting out with a wardrobe detox?
The first thing I would suggest you do is get a real understanding of what your style is and how you want to express that. So I use Pinterest, or sometimes I'll go through magazines and create mood boards with my clients to create an overall vibe. And that will then show you a few themes that will come up regularly. So having a really clear idea of, oh, there's a camel coat that's featured in lots of these images that I've pinned. That's probably something I need to have. Have I already got it? Have I not? That kind of thing. So having that clear vision and then going through your wardrobe with that vision in your head. So if you've got a very colourful mood board and your wardrobe is full of neutrals, then it's switching things around and vice versa, and just detoxing with that vision in mind, and actually going back to those questions that I mentioned for when you're going to buy things. They should apply to whether you're going to keep things or not as well. So does it fit? Does it flatter? Do I feel great in it? And I did this style, I'm doing the style challenge, and I wore a red jumper a couple of weeks ago that I've loved in the past, but it's just a bit tired now, and I've been holding on to it but not wearing it. But it's like I can't quite get rid of it because I really love it, but it's not quite nice enough to wear. And I made myself wear it because that's the challenge, to wear everything. Otherwise, why have you got it? And I wore it and I spent the whole day just feeling a bit meh, a bit. So it's gone. It was just a bit bobbly.
The red jumper is gone.
So, but now I know there's a gap in my wardrobe and I will look for something to replace that. But it's a knowledgeable, conscious effort. And yeah, it's an easy decision because I've made myself wear it rather than just thinking, no, I like it, it can just stay there.
Yeah, no, they're brilliant tips. So yeah, mood boards, everybody, because that's definitely something I would not have. I'd have probably gone to the wardrobe and gone, I'm not sure, but having that clear vision of your style, I think, will just help in all areas, really.
We should probably do like a whole Ask Anna just on wardrobe detoxes, because there's so many tips that I can give you, and it's such a cathartic and therapeutic process that once you get into the habit of doing it, it's easy to stay on top of, and it just makes things so much easier.
But also as well, you know, the less clutter that we can have in our lives, the better. So that's probably a really good idea, actually. If anyone does have any Ask Anna questions for a wardrobe detox episode, then please let us know. But for today, we're going to say goodbye. Thank you so much, lovely.
Thank you.
And thank you for all your questions. We will be back very soon.